Previously on Running is BS. So I just started the race and I thought, where have all the other runners gone?
It's the sheep. They have us surrounded.
My God, they're everywhere.
The mud. I'm sinking in the mud.
Well, I guess this race has just begun.
Damn, this thing goes all the way to the top.
If we've got solid proof that running is bullshit, we have to tell everyone.
I can't hold in my shit any longer.
For fuck's sake.
You mean running was inside us all along?
Welcome to Running is Bullshit. I'm Stuart.
And I'm Amy, and you're listening to the podcast that loves to hate running.
How was your Christmas? Yeah, good. Yeah, quiet one. Family, yeah. Back at work now. Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah. Great. There we go. We've got that bit out of the way.
Yep. All cleared up.
Literally the worst thing about Christmas is going back to work. Not because you have to go back to work, but just because of the really shit back to work post-Christmas chat.
Yeah.
Office.
And also starting all your emails, because I've not been back into the office yet, but I've been back at work. And when you're catching up your emails and starting all your emails with, I hope you had a good Christmas and New Year.
No, I don't. I just don't do that.
Oh, you're just like rude. Or if you, like, sometimes you're like, I hope you had a nice winter break, because you might not celebrate Christmas, or your New Year might not occur at this time. So I sometimes go throw in the winter break one as well, just be inclusive.
At the end of the year, if you looked at my Microsoft Teams of the people I spoke to, like 4 of the conversations finished with "you too," because everyone just said like, "Have a happy Christmas, New Year." I'm just like, "You too." I don't know. I'm just not a very Merry Christmassy kind of person. It feels a little odd for me to say. I don't know. I have no good reason for that, and I don't give a shit about New Year. I don't think New Year's Day should be a bank holiday. I think fuck you should go into work tired.
I'm definitely more of a like, I hope you had a good winter break, because that's what it is. It's a break. That's the nice thing about it. Like, most people, not everyone, but most people get some time off work.
And of course, you're not allowed to say Christmas anymore.
You're not, no.
It's completely banned.
Politically correct. All the liberals saying we're not
the
allowed to say
wokerati
Christmas.
coming after us.
I know, but people are so offended by that.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we should have been like Red January, and after not doing the podcast for a month, we should have come back and done an episode every single day until our voices got injured.
Yeah, that's the only way to approach this. I saw my memories on Facebook that I think it's been 6 years since I started my run streak, which inevitably got me injured with an injury that lasted 4 years. 4 years!
Yeah.
That was my run streak that I was running every day, and I got up until April, and I suffered a horrific knee injury, and it took me 4 years to completely recover. So don't do Red January, sod mental health, take your rest days.
Yeah, I think I tried to do it once. I kind of thought, oh yeah, well, why not? I'll do that. I think I lasted 6 days. 2019, so there you go, 4 years ago. I did 6 days and again got injured. I
did do Red January, so I'm being over the top. Before, obviously it's different doing 1 month to doing like 5 months. But I did do Red January last year, and I was planning to run it and do lots of running. And a few days before was when that dog ran into my leg and like snapped my knee in half, pretty much. So I ended up walking. Yeah, I ended up walking a lot of Red January last year. I don't think I even did every day. I think I sort of gave up halfway through.
Just to fill people in, if they don't know Red January, Run Every Day January has become a thing. You can like buy a t-shirt and pay someone money to run every day in January, but you don't actually have to run every day. It's just they've kind of changed it now, so it's do something every day January, which does make more sense.
Yeah. But
it's still called Red January, and I've still seen lots of things that say the perfect way to get back into running. What great inspiration! If you've been out for a while, why not do this? I'm like, no, that's exactly the worst way to start running.
Like Red January, great if you're already running, you've already got like a pretty firm base to do it, and you understand that you need to take days where you're doing things incredibly slowly and short. But like, yeah, don't just go straight into running every single day. Yeah. Injury central.
Speaking of coming back to running, something I've seen a few times recently and kind of over the years. Couch to 5K, as we know, is the 9-week thing from the NHS on the app. It's a great way to get back into running. I find it odd when I see groups that do a start running course that don't do Couch to 5K. They do their own 6 or 7 or 8 week course. And I just think, why do you know better?
Yeah, I think...
I find it really odd.
I don't know whether Couch to 5K has been scientifically proven to help people start running, but I feel like there's enough sort of evidence from people just generally, you know.
Well, there's just so much support.
Yeah.
There's so much people have done it. People have written about it. People have made videos. Like, you know, the app has got celebrity voices on it. Loads of people have done it. I just kind of think, I don't know, it feels a little bit like, oh yeah, but we'll do it in 6 weeks. Our system's better.
Yeah, most people I've spoken, and I'm myself one of them, started running through Couch to 5K, and it is amazing. Like, it's the best. It is the best way to start running. The increments in which it goes up are really, really good, and it's all about like making sure you're just out there for half an hour doing your intervals or whatever, you know, rather than just running a mile, being completely knackered and then going home, you know.
Yeah, and you know, perhaps 6 or 7 weeks is better for some people, but I just think, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of work to make your own one when there's already one there.
Yeah.
Maybe, might just be me. Let's have a catch up of the last episode. That was our 100th episode. We did it live. It was way too long.
I did think it was going to be long because you were like, oh yeah, like 10 minutes for each guest. I'm like, these people are not going to just talk for 10 minutes.
No. Well, when we did the live episode, like in a cafe, I don't think we quite did enough, and it was a bit shorter than we expected. So I overcompensated putting stuff in the script, and I think it was an hour and 45. So apologies to everyone who was running to that and had to go for an extra long run. It was just too long. We had 394 comments on Facebook during it. That was lovely. Thank you all for joining us. I mean, that made it longer as well, just reading out so many comments. But it was great for everyone to be along there. Not going to do that again for a while because that was hard work. A big thank you to Nicola Forward, who made super short, no context versions for our social media as well. I very much enjoyed those.
Yep, definitely. That was excellent.
Definitely one of those jobs that I didn't want to do. I'm glad she just offered. That was nice.
Shout out to Hannah Phillips as well, who somehow got Prince Andrew into the conversation.
Yeah, of course.
Naturally.
I mean, it's Hannah. You never know where it's going to go. We didn't really bother write many notes for that one because there's just no point.
It's one of those things that I'll just be going about my day and I'll just think about that and laugh to myself.
Yeah. The little random topic generator she has instead of a brain just landed on that.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. I don't love that, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
A tweet from I Am Matman said, finally caught up with the first half of Running is BS episode 100, and I can't believe you're telling me a goose is only 6 kilos. I must have met the Beast of Nottingham and Beeston Canal. No, you didn't. They're just a normal sized goose, and you're just a wimp.
Yeah. They've got to be light, or else how do they fly?
You let yourself be bullied by a bird, Matt.
Yeah.
Let's have a tea update instead. Ooh.
We've partnered with Bird and Blend Tea, which means we'll tell you what tea we're drinking, and if you like the sound of that, you go to runningisbs.com/tea, click on the links and buy tea if you want to. So in December, we mentioned on the podcast, we had our tea advent calendars from Bird and Blend. Absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. Like a different tea every day to sample. There was 2 bags in there. Usually said that was like 1 to share. It's like, no, that's 1 for me later, 1 for morning, 1 for later. We'll say some people on Instagram were posting spoilers ridiculously early about their tea. I know. I'd like look up at my Instagram at like 7:30 in the morning and somebody go, oh look, this is the tea I got on my advent calendar.
Oh well, yeah, it was 7:30. That's fine. Like, if it was the day before.
No. Spoilers. Too early in the morning. There should be an embargo on the advent
you should have been
calendar.
up earlier.
Well, sometimes I don't have a morning tea. I normally have a morning coffee to wake me up, and then my tea is like a lunchtime
Amy, don't
thing.
drop the C-bomb.
No. Anyway,
what were your best teas? What did you enjoy?
Okay. So my favourite teas from the calendar, which I'll be buying some of. Firstly, I really like the milk oolong chai.
Oh yeah.
Really creamy with like a hint of spice. It's one of those things. This is why I love the advent calendar. It's one of those things where I wouldn't have chosen to buy that from if I was just reading through the descriptions and stuff. I would have thought, that doesn't sound. I would have thought that doesn't sound very interesting. That just seems like really boring. And then when I tried it, it was like a taste sensation. I loved it.
And that one is actually really good because you can, once you've done with it, you can dry it out, you can use it again, and you can use it for like 5 or 6 more cups, and it keeps the same flavour. I think they actually say it enhances the flavour, which it may or may not do, but you can use it loads.
Yeah, it's absolutely lovely, so I'm going to be buying some of that. And then my second favourite was Dozy Girl, which is a chamomile, lavender and rose tea. Oh, I like those ones. When I opened them and I saw them, I was like, this sounds gross. I tried it and it was actually really, really lovely, so I quite liked Dozy Girl, a nice, relaxing, chill tea. And then also Freya got me a milk frother for Christmas. So I've been making my own matcha lattes as well, using the strawberries and cream matcha from Bird and Blend, which is life-changing. So I've had a very good Christmas tea period. What about you? Did you have any teas for Christmas, or did you have any favourites from the Advent calendar?
I didn't get any teas for Christmas, but I did, as I usually do, I enjoyed any of the black or rooibos teas, basically. A tea and toast was good because that's like basically nearly a very normal proper tea, just like a little hint of jam in there. They're the kind of ones I like. I gotta say, there's some of the like the fruity ones, the herby ones, wasn't really my thing, I'm afraid.
I love those. The biggest disappointment for me was opening one day and it was like Earl Grey. That's it, Earl Grey.
Yeah, but that's nice tea.
Mate, if I wanted Earl Grey, I'd go to Morrison's. Nah.
Can I say my most disappointing? Opening Christmas Eve, the very final one, and it was mint.
Oh,
I thought it would be a Christmas tea.
Yep. You know
Come
what?
on.
If Bird and Blend, if you're listening, because I know they do, they monitor our podcast, and as soon as we say something negative, they dock £100 off our,
that's true. That is
off
true.
our commission. But Bird and Blend, I'm going to take that docking of commission because it's a Christmas Advent calendar. Christmas Eve, like in a normal Advent calendar that you buy from the shops, usually Christmas Eve, you get an extra big chocolate, don't you? Like, yay, it's Christmas Eve. For your Christmas Eve, to differentiate it between all the other days, you need to have a Christmas tea in there. You do Christmassy teas.
Yeah.
No
very
excuse. No
disappointing.
excuse. That's my only feedback on that. Otherwise, brilliant calendar.
Go to the website, buy some tea. Apologies to all the people who don't give a shit about tea. Let's move on. Amy, what have you been up to over the last month?
I know. I was looking back. I'd say I was looking back through my Instagram and Strava. I do this every 2 weeks as well because I cannot remember what I've been doing. Because usually it's not really much. I didn't really do much running over Christmas itself. I had like this horrible sinus headache type thing that went on for days and days and days. And actually, it's funny. I've been speaking to other people who've had exactly the same thing, where it's just an insanely intense headache that painkillers don't touch at all. Like it's just torturing you for days. Tried going out for a run with it. Felt like I was going to vomit every time my foot hit the ground because it was like making my head feel like it was vibrating the whole time.
Which would have been funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Yeah. So
for us.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yeah, that was absolutely horrendous. I think I'd rather run with any other one. I think I'd rather run with any other illness apart from a headache. But I'm being dramatic there. I wouldn't want to run with diarrhea or anything. So I'm going with this. So I didn't get much running done over Christmas itself. New Year, new me. Resolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah, went back to the gym on Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, after weeks. I've been going to the gym. I go to the gym, but I've had a few weeks of being quite inconsistent with the gym, just leading up to Christmas and stuff. And obviously it was packed with New Year's resolutioners, like resolutioner wankers. But then I thought, am I one of those myself? It's not a resolution for me to go to the gym.
Do you reckon you look like one?
Yes, yeah, because I'm so weak. Everyone thinks, oh, look, she's new. Bearing in mind, I've been going to the gym for like 5 years now. They're looking at me like just, benching the bar and being like, oh, bless her. She doesn't know.
But you're so small, they might not have noticed you.
Yeah, just like scurrying around. And I don't want to say, like, I'm joking when I say New Year's resolution as wankers at the gym because everyone has to start somewhere. I'm not being elitist. But at least have some, I don't want to even say gym etiquette. I want to say normal. I don't want to say like human etiquette of being in society and living in the civilized world. There was a guy popping spots in one of the mirrors. It's like, mate, I know they're lovely big mirrors, but this isn't your bathroom at home. It's for checking your form and shit. Not
Has he not got mirrors at home?
He was like proper getting in there. He had these spots on his nose, and he was like proper getting in there with it. Like, mate. Why are you paying a subscription just for a big mirror? You know,
he's paying a mirror subscription. That's so millennial.
Yeah, I know. So that's all I will say is no issue with people starting at the gym. Whatever, everyone starts somewhere. You know, and I'm still shit, but like basic human etiquette is required. And then this morning, first long run of ultra training. So we'll get onto this later, but obviously I've got all my ultras coming up this year. Actually went out for a long run. I haven't been out for a long run in weeks and weeks and weeks because I just can't be asked. Of course, it rained the entire time. Like, it's been raining for weeks and weeks and weeks as well. So, but it was like torrential rain for the 2 hours that I ran, and then as soon as I pretty much set foot back home in my house, the rain stopped and the sun came out.
Yes.
So yeah, obviously. But having said that, Pippin, who I ran with, was very well behaved, and it's because she was fucking miserable the entire time because she hates the rain. But she was so well behaved. Like, normally we run past our local park, and normally she wants to pull me into the park and go to the park. She just ran. She was like, I'm not pissing about today. I just want to get this done as quickly as possible. And she was, the whole time, she was just running forward, looking down. She wasn't normally she's a bit reactive to people going by on bikes or other dogs. Nope, didn't care.
No time for that shit.
No time. She was just like, I want to get this done. So yeah, it swings and roundabouts really with the rain. Pippin hates it. I hate it, but she's well behaved, so you know.
It gets the job done.
Exactly. What have you been up to?
Well, of course, I did more races. I counted up last year. Last year I did 24 races, which is too many, I think we'll agree.
Yeah.
That shatters my previous record. 24 races is simply too many. I did one at Pembrey, again, because all races do a canicross are at Pembrey in kind of Carmarthenshire. And it was a really weird one because they did a weird thing at the start. Usually, fastest runners first, slower runner last, and they kind of seed it in that order to kind of prevent overtaking, things like that. This time they said, we've done it in a random order. I go, okay, that's weird. So I get my number and I'm number 3. I'm like, okay, perhaps it's random. 2 guys ahead of me, very fast looking guys, both with Eurohounds, which are like the absolute top canicross dog. I can't remember what the breed is. It's like pointers mixed with huskies, I think, something like that.
I've never heard of this. So Eurohound is like a type of dog?
It's like a fucking massive greyhound, usually black but with white eyes.
Right.
And they if you've got one of them, you mean fucking business.
Is Eurohounds, is that a term that exists outside of canicross, or has it been invented for like canicross?
I think it is the canicross dog. So it's Eurohound is the name of that.
But have they been developed for canicross?
Yeah, specifically for canicross. Right. That's what I mean. Like, they're a big deal. If you got one of them, you're proper. So the 2 guys ahead of me had them, the 2 women behind me had them, and me in the middle with a Labrador. And I just think, like, they're looking at me thinking either this guy is fucking brilliant, which I don't think they were thinking, or they're thinking this dickhead's going to get in our way.
Yeah.
Why has he got a Labrador starting in front of me? And like, these women absolutely burnt past me because you go 10-second intervals. They absolutely smashed past me about a minute or 2 in. Luckily I could get right out of the way, and I had good old Ruby pulling me at the beginning, at the end, and not at all in the middle. So I was just shouting at her all the way to get her going.
Oh, I can't even imagine if me and Pippin were there in that same position, with Pippin either sniffing or being super reactive and barking at them, and me trying to drag her back but not being very strong about it and probably falling over in the process. So rather you than me.
There was some good drama though. One of the dogs from the back, I think they were like number 40 or something, got off the lead somehow and just bolted, and because it was the second day, knew the course and did half the course on its own. Amazing. Just ran through the pack of people. Like, the first 2 guys went, the dog escaped, runs through everyone, starts running the course. So the woman chases it, another guy with his dog starts chasing it. It got halfway round before they caught it, but the guy who was in the front, because he was obviously way out front, he's running like a 17-minute 5k. But he could hear this dog coming behind him, and he's thinking, shit, someone is chasing me hard. So he raced extra hard.
Oh my God.
And then he saw just this dog came past him. It's like the Grand National when the jockeys fall off and the horses carry on and think they're amazing.
Oh my God.
That was amazing. I finished 2nd out of 2 again, so I'm doing well for points this year.
Nice.
People don't turn up, I can't beat him. That's just the way it is. I also did the week after, just the week before Christmas, the Elwood Christmas Tree Run. That was a 5-mile race through the Forest of Dean. Very, very nice. An absolutely mad, narrow start on ice. It was just pretty much sheet ice on grass and mud. And then it led down this long, slippery hill. So a really narrow little path through the woods, but it's just covered in like a layer of slippery mud. And I'm certain a lot of people towards the back were on their arse going down that, because there's a lot of kind of slower runner but with really fast, strong dogs, and they would have just been on their arse being pulled down there. That was hilarious. I ran with Holly all the way. That time I had Ruby again, the Labrador. Holly ran with William, our Kelpie. We ran together all the way on that one, and like the positions get a bit confusing because Holly was ahead of me. She finished 4th, I finished 5th, but also 3rd and 2nd, and also 1st and 2nd.
Right.
So I was 5th overall. I was the 2nd man and the 2nd senior man.
Ah, okay.
Because again, Canicross isn't like a normal races, really, a lot of the time. It's not always senior men that win. The first 2 in this one were veteran females.
Ah.
So Holly finished 4th, but she was actually 1st senior woman.
Oh, wow.
It's very good. So it gets a bit complicated. So yeah, it's not like most races where it's just 25-year-old men winning, because a lot of 25-year-old men just don't run Canicross. So that was quite fun. Didn't get any prizes though. So even though I finished 2nd, but fine, whatever.
Well, no prizes.
No, well, I emailed, never got anything back. So
Does anyone win a prize, or do you just get or did you even get a medal that said like?
I didn't go to the prize giving, so I don't know. Perhaps they just like, well, fuck it. If he's not gonna come to the prize giving, then we can't be asked. Perhaps that they just slung it in the woods.
Yeah.
Mind. I also on New Year's Eve did the hardest park run in the UK. Which I know for Amy is just any of them because 9 o'clock is too early.
Yeah.
Great Yarmouth North Beach. It is entirely on soft sand, and it is pretty hard as it turns out. And like the long section is pretty much 2 laps, but the long section along the shore was into this massive headwind as well, and it is nasty. Like the course record for that is over 20 minutes. Like no one has ever run under 20 minutes on that course. Is how mad it is.
I did see on Instagram, like I think Holly running on sand. I was like,
Yeah.
what? What?
Yeah. I think the park run average is like 29 minutes, and the average there is 37 minutes.
Jeez.
For everyone. It is a properly hard one. And they had to have a seal marshal to direct us around a seal. So that was fun.
Love that.
I'm not sure if the seal was dead.
Oh, don't love that.
yeah. But we saw some other seals that were definitely alive further down the beach, and that was very nice.
Good.
So loads of running. And yeah.
Nice.
Didn't think of a better way to finish that. So yeah, finishing the year on a shit note. I thought that was a perfect way to go out.
Yeah, definitely.
So how about next year? Amy, you've already said new year, new you.
I know. Well, new me in the I need to train if I'm going to do any of these ultras, let alone all 6.
Recap us, Amy. What are you up to this year? What's your plan?
So I'm doing the Pegasus Slam. So all the Pegasus ultra.
Is that the new hip dance craze all the kids are doing on TikTok?
Yeah. So it involves, in April, I'm doing the South Canham, which is 40 miles. Then in May, I'm doing the Howham, which is 30 miles. Then in June, I'm doing the Vogham, which is 40 miles. Then in July, I'm doing the new race, which is the Pigham, which is 30 miles. Then in August, I'm doing the Edam, which is 50 miles. Then in September, finally, I'm doing the Riddham, which is 30 miles.
Oh.
Mate.
I checked the dates for each of these. It's basically the first Saturday of each month from April through to September. So they're 4 or 5 weeks apart, each of them.
Yeah, you know what? This is going to be the hardest thing. It's one of them as well, where I think I only have like 3 Saturdays between those, 3 weekends to do training. Because I sat down in my diary the other day and I was planning my long runs. And the training up to the first ultra is fine. It's not until April. So I've got like
12 weeks today, isn't it?
Don't say that.
12 weeks to do 40 miles.
12 weeks?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem very long. But 12 weeks, that's fine. That's fine. Like, it's not like I'm starting from 0. Like, I do, that's fine. So I'm increasing, like, I'm doing my long runs, increasing by 2 miles every week, starting at 10 miles. Like, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. What is going to be challenging is the in-between bits of getting the balance between recovering.
Yeah, what do you do?
And, I've looked at my diary and I'm just like, well, probably the week after I'll do 10 miles just to keep going but not push it, and then maybe afterwards maybe I do a 14 mile, and then because I should still have the fitness left over from doing 40 fucking miles and all the training leading up to it, I hope. But I think that's it. It's the in-between bits. If I was just doing the South Canham, I wouldn't be too bothered, but it's the in-between bits that are going to be a struggle. Yeah,
that is tough. Is it just, do you, like 2 weeks, the middle weekend, do you still do a long run, or do you just kind of keep yourself ticking over at 3 or 4 10Ks during the week or something? I don't know. I guess that will change as you go through it as well. It may end up you just basically doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to see how I feel. So for the first couple, I've very optimistically written that in between I'll do a couple of long runs in between, but just going up to 14 miles. I'm not going to finish to South Canham and then 2 weeks after that do a 20 miler. You know what I mean? I just think that would be ridiculous. Point, is there? No. So I'm thinking just keep it ticking over with doing the longish runs, like going out for a 2-hour run or something, or a 3-hour run. But yeah, because the main issue will be about getting injured, won't it? Obviously, that's a lot of mileage, but I'm just going to try my best.
What you need is hills.
I know. I need to go.
I know your first one is pretty flat.
Yeah.
But your running is pretty much all flat.
Yeah.
Try and get some hills in there, definitely.
Yeah.
Because they're more fun.
Exactly. And I think if I do get injured, the good thing is that Pegasus are really good about deferring a year. So if I do get injured, I won't do the slam, which sucks, but I'll be able to at least defer, which is nice and reassuring. But obviously the point is to do all of them. That's the whole point. But we'll
6
see.
months, 6 ultras.
We'll see. I'm just focus on the first. We're just focusing on the first one now.
And don't forget, then in November, Escape from Meriden.
Oh, you know what, mate? I'm not even thinking about that yet. No. Because who knows? I don't even know if I'm going to be in any fit state to be doing that by that point.
Yeah.
But I have got a bit of a game plan for Meriden. When I said last time about, I might just have a sleep in the hotel until 6 a.m. and then start my run.
Smart.
Yeah. I'm not going to be running for 24 hours. I'm just not. That is not going to happen. So rather than starting at midnight and running through the night, I'm going to wait until, there's a bit of light and do my 12-hour run or whatever,
Yeah, it's probably smart.
Yeah. Anyway, what have you got? Because that's all I've got. That is it. Every podcast, you're going to be asking me what's coming up next. I'm going to be fucking training for these stupid ultras.
Another fucking ultra in a couple of weeks.
Nothing interesting. That's it. No 5Ks.
There's kind of no point you doing other races, really, is there?
No. When would I squeeze it in? I might on the lead up to it. I might see if there's some trail races I can enter to instead of my long runs, do
just give you somewhere else to go, really. Isn't it?
A trail half marathon would be amazing. But when I'm actually doing it, right, April till September, it's not like I'm going to enter any other races during that time. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. So, have you got anything more diverse and interesting coming up?
Well, what I really like is my main run for spring isn't a race, and that just kind of feels super hipster to me. It's this is my big thing I'm aiming for, not actually a race. It's an FKT route, but it's not one that I'm actually going to get the record for, which makes it even more pointless, which I think makes it even more worthy. I'm very proud of myself. It's called the Abergavenny Gold Route. It's a circular 33k route that takes in 3 local mountains, Skirrid, Sugarloaf and Bloringe, all of which I talked about and run up before, but never all together. It's basically 3 massive climbs and then fairly flat in between each one. And it's just a route I want to do. And because it's quite long, it's quite a lot of elevation, it's going to take a bit of training to work up to. So that's kind of my aim for spring. Most people use that as a training run for something, but actually that's kind of my aim, just to get it done, really, which I think is pretty cool. That's
nice and chill, because if you set a date and it's horrendous weather in some way, you just move it to another date.
Yeah, so that's quite good. There is a race in the lead up to this, which is a 25k point to point that takes in 2 of those mountains, and it's one of those 40-year-old races that has an amazing history, but only local fell runners know about it. So it's been going forever. Loads of amazing runners have run there, got some great times, but no one knows about it. And that's from Llanbedr to Blaen Avon. So that'll be going up one of those mountains right at the end and dipping up back over the other side of it to finish. Nice. That should be a good fun one. However, in the lead up to all of that, there's also about 6 Canicross weekends that I'll be doing in about 3 months. So pretty much every other weekend, I'll be doing a Canicross weekend, probably, which is usually 2 5Ks over a weekend. So I kind of have no idea when I'm going to do my long runs. Because if I'm doing 2 all-out 5Ks, 2 weeks later I do 2 more all-out 5Ks, do I want to run 15 miles in the middle of that? Not
No.
really. And even so, like, if my weekends are busy, I'm gonna have to be a midweek long run wanker, which I'm not at all happy about.
Mate, it just doesn't feel right.
A Wednesday long run.
Oh,
Ugh.
the only way you can get away with a long run during the week if it's on a Friday, I think, because that still feels like the weekend. But you're not going to be able to do that if you're canicrossing. So
Yeah, and Monday you can't do a long run on a Monday because that
no.
doesn't count towards your mileage for the last week.
no.
That makes that week short and the other week too long, and
But
that just
also
fucks
that
everything up.
Monday long run is madness. That's a slippery slope there.
Yeah, so I don't quite know when I'm going to be able to get in all these long runs between all these like massive 5K efforts.
Just
so
don't do them.
No, definitely going to do them because Canicross is great.
Just no, the long runs. Just leave them.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Doesn't matter.
good idea.
Just leave it.
I'll just leave them. That'll be fine. And after that, as a warm-up to Escape from Meriden, which, again, as a reminder, we start in the middle of England, run as far away as possible in 24 hours, starting at midnight. We're doing that in mid-November. So in theory, my target is I want to run 70 miles, and that gets me to the Forest of Dean,
Jeez.
which is an obscene distance. It's more than twice as far as I've ever run before, and I hated running that far. I'm going to be, as a warm-up, I'm going to do a 45-mile race. The Green Man Ultra, and that's all the way around Bristol, and it's at the end of August.
Oh,
so
God.
that should be the height of summer.
Oh, mate.
I'll run a 45-mile race, which is 12 miles further than I've ever run,
Horrendous.
around Bristol.
Horrendous.
But what I like about this race is they don't have paces for 10, 11 and 12 hours. They have Time Lords.
Oh.
And that's a lot cooler. I don't care about Doctor Who or anything like that, but I just love the fact they're called Time Lords because it's much more fun and much cooler. And it's got a thing of, they said towards the end, if they kind of gather a group together, they may speed up or slow down depending on that group because they are Time Lords. They can do whatever they want with their time. And because it's a navigation race as well, because it's so long and it's all the way around Bristol and kind of fairly suburban, you have to navigate it as well. So basically, you just hang on to one of those guys and run with them, and they'll show you the way around. So I might do that for 11 or 12 hours because it's going to take me a long time.
Is it going to end like in a field with a wicker man? It feels very druidy, sort of.
Presumably, yeah.
I feel like Green Man. I went to Bristol Museum, one of the museums, M Shed, a few months ago, and there was like a weird folky wicker man style man made of moss and trees and grass.
Yeah.
That might be the Green Man. I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit going on in Bristol, so I would be careful of that as well. That they don't sacrifice you so that they can have whatever they want, like 10 more days of cider crop or something. I don't know.
It's fine. I'm from Norfolk. I can navigate these kind of things. We had to dodge them as children regularly, so it's fine.
So when they've got the animal masks on and stuff and they start chanting, that's when you've got to just run a bit faster.
You've just reminded me. I've just looked up something here about this. If you complete the path, because I don't think it's a particularly old path, but the thing they've done with it, you get to call yourself a woodwose.
Right.
I'm not sure if that's pronounced right. It's from an Old English word, and it's the proper name for the wild men and women that haunted the imaginary forests of medieval Europe, and it is entirely appropriate for anyone mad enough to conquer the community forest path. I will be a woodwose if I complete it.
It doesn't surprise me. Like, Bristol seems really metropolitan and cool now because all the hipsters from London moved there, but there's weird shit going on in there.
Yeah, there is a core of like people in antlers and things.
Yeah, definitely. Like pig heads and stuff like that. Yeah.
If anyone wants to join me on that and be a woodwose with me, please do. That should be fun.
God.
So from not doing any ultras next year, which was my plan, I'm planning to do 45 miles and maybe 70 miles. Cool. And you're doing 6.
Yeah, I love the optimism when you say, you're doing 6.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You're going to start 6.
I'll do the
even
first
starting.
one. I'll do the first one. We'll see.
Sure. Well, if you want to keep supporting us doing stupid things and putting ourselves through pain just for your entertainment, you can support us and go to patreon.com/runningisbullshit, donating money every month. New to the list this month is Gregory C., Hannah Phillips and Claire Davis. And especially thank you to Hannah and Claire, who signed up during the live episode
I think
last
there's
time.
A bit of peer pressure there.
Yeah, a little bit of guilt maybe, I think.
Yeah.
But absolutely, the money's worth the same, so we'll take it. Also, as pointed out in that episode, nearly 10% of our supporters are called Matt. So this list of names this week is a little less random than usual.
Jason Spinks, Maria Wicks, Samantha Benson, Kurt Shepherd, Julia Page, Vicky Robbins, Jenny Semesby, Anthony Howe, Stuart Stevens, Paul Hibbert, Sophie Nichols, Debbie Hurney, Brian Simpson, Rachel Bentley, David Owen, Gertie Farewell, Luke Daniel, J. Riggs, Skye, Charlie Neverson, Cassie Jones, Adam Atkinson, Carl Fleming, Nicky Genders, AP, Derry, Martin Kaplan, Matt Burrows, Matt Newbury, Matt Jones, Matt Caffin, Matt Josowski, Matt Gunner, Matt H, Matt Lee, Sandra Hines, Ian Thompson, Ivor Hewitt, Amanda Murray, Hine, Gregory C, Hannah Phillips, Lee Wood, Max Mahadi, Penny Simpson, Kath Everett, Darren Robbins, Elizabeth Shaban, Trish Alton, Sherry Grubbs, Bernadette McCarthy, Victoria Magnus, Lisa Gibbon, Rachel Bullmore, Claire, Dina, Drew Edwards, Victoria Dick, Andy Gobbins, Clark Gilmore, Gabriel Thomas, Nia Ruth, Katie, Ian Hale, Len Martin, Catherine Benson, Shabola Cadell, Francis Howe, Liz Reese, Sophie Jack, Jonathan Carter, Violet Greb, Kel Ryder, Sam Whaley, Karen Blake, Claire Davis, Hannah Bye, Raymond Quinn, James Lampert, John Stratford, Elliot Lyme, John Dawson, Crail Seal, Jay House, Angela Foster Swales, Andy H, Andy Nichols H, got those the wrong way round. Jesus Christ.
Don't forget to get in touch with your running bullshit on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Just search Running is BS. Let us know why you particularly hate running this week. Somebody who's done that is Ben Timo. Says, oops, I got too carried away flagging dodgy runs on Strava, and now I seem to have been temporarily prevented from flagging anymore.
God, Ben.
I respect that a lot.
I think you're a snitch.
No, good for you.
Strava snitch.
No, we need Strava snitches to get rid of the cheats. Good for you. I'm proud of you, Ben. Good for you.
I'm not sure.
Doing the Lord's work.
We asked on Twitter as well for your worst run of the year. We had a few responses. And at first is Tony Jude H, who said Cardiff Bay 10K. Night out in Cardiff on the Saturday, starting the race 3 hours after my darling wife said, just one more gin and tonic. It's fine, I'm not running. Then at 2K left in the race, she shouts, your niece has already passed you. Don't be shit.
Okay, that race starts at like 10 o'clock. So he was still on the G&Ts at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Tony, mate.
Tony. On the G&Ts as well, love it.
100% your own fault.
Yeah.
At Claris_runs said, mine was doing a self-nav ultra in 36 degree heat, getting lost, adding an extra 9k, all while periodically throwing up and being unable to keep water down. All this is to say the most bullshit thing was me. I decided not to DNF. I could have at any point and enjoyed the day. Claris, you, like we've said before, just give up. Why do people do ultras in the heat, throwing up all day? Just fucking stop.
Also, there's another option. Don't even turn up.
You might die.
Look at the weather
genuinely,
forecast.
you could die. Why would you carry on doing the race?
I'd look at the weather forecast and I'd be like, nah, mate, you're all right.
We could see Claris's priorities are a bit strange because she actually sent this tweet on 7 a.m. on Christmas Day. Nothing better to do, apparently.
Yep. That's just one step below, like responding to an email, work email on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's bad.
At Running a VI, it says Southampton 10K. I fell over in the first half mile. We, brackets, my guide runner and I, then had to keep asking people for plasters and stuff. Damn, that must have been a gnarly fall. Finally got first aid at the finish and finished in what was my worst time. And then I fell over at Park Run the following week. That sucks.
Is it funny that VI runners falling over? Are we allowed to laugh at that?
To be honest, I think it's more like that's legit and okay, and I have no excuse to be falling over full stop, you know?
Yeah. At J. Jameson Rickard said, highlight and low light at the same time. Ran the Brighton Marathon without training. It was my first marathon, completed it just about, but couldn't walk for days afterwards and was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. Got into bed that night and couldn't move. This is why you're supposed to do training. I know we go on how shit we are at training, but don't run a marathon without training.
No, I'm not, but also well done for being able to run a marathon without training.
No, we shouldn't be encouraging this, Amy. Or perhaps we should, because it's funny.
Yeah, like half of me is impressed that somebody can just... I hate those people that can just run a fucking marathon. I hate them with like no training, or like a half marathon, or a really good 10k time, and I'm like slaving away just to be able to run anything at all. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't really done any training, and I just like banged out a 3:30 marathon or something. I'm like, mate,
gross people, terrible people.
I hate them.
Did you have a worst run of the year?
I would say it's got to be that ultra I did in November.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned on the podcast.
Well, it wasn't an ultra because you didn't finish it.
Fuck off! The ultra I attempted to do 20 miles that I actually did of it, which is quite impressive. I did the Pelavan bit, which was the hardest fucking bit in extreme weather. You know those TV series you see on like Discovery Plus, like world's most extreme weather. I was in that.
You were in that.
I was in that. Every time I put my waterproof on that I wore to the race, I get like a bit of a trauma response. I feel uncomfortable, I feel scared, I feel anxious. That's how severe it was. I thought I was going to die that day. I've never been so cold in my life. I was legitimately worried. The people around me were worried. My waterproof was no longer waterproof. Nothing was. I tried to get a thermal out of my bag that was soaking wet, so did nothing. The whole thing was just like horrendous. It's annoying because I had like a really good run actually, and again, hadn't really trained properly. But if it hadn't been torrential rain, I probably would have finished the race. But yeah, it was that feeling of being really, really cold and wet and actually being scared.
Yeah, you know it's bad in a race where you actually do get properly a bit scared.
Yeah. I thought because we were walking, so after Pelavan, we were walking along like a really... If it was a normal day, like the weather wasn't that bad, it was a trail you could probably run most of. But because I was so cold and stiff and the visibility was so poor, I didn't want to risk falling over because I knew if I fell, I was going to be fucked. So I like 4 miles of walking in these horrible conditions. And the whole way I'm like, if we don't get to the aid station soon, I feel like I might actually die. And Jen was just waiting for me to go, oh, I'm actually starting to feel quite warm now. And, you know, obviously that's like the sign that things have really gone shit. So I was like waiting for my body to be like, oh yeah, you're actually really, really warm right now. And that would be like the, oh shit, let's call mountain rescue time. But yeah, that would definitely be my worst run, just in the sense that I thought I might die.
Yeah, that's a good enough reason.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah, how about you?
For me, it was a lot more low-key than that. It was just 2 days after Christmas where I went for a run with a cold. It was a flat, easy trail run, but all I could manage was 5.5k in 50 minutes, and I went and had a little sit down in the car while Holly carried on, did some proper running, and that's the video I put on Instagram just after Christmas. When I looked back at it, I was like, oh, and someone else mentioned to me, I looked back at it and I'm like, I do actually look really sad in this video. Like, it wasn't as funny as I thought it was. It was just really sad.
I think people were legitimately concerned, weren't they?
Yeah, I think so. Because I looked back at it, because I recorded it. It was like a minute long. I recorded it, and then I looked back, watched it back, and went, oh, this is not as funny and entertaining as I wanted it to be, but fuck it, I'm not doing it again. And I was just so sad and miserable. But it's just because I had a cold and I had no energy. I just couldn't run.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to because it was a nice day and it was a nice little place to run. But yeah, no, but that was the worst one for me, but not particularly dramatic.
Runs when you have like some sort of respiratory thing are the worst, like absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, I'm still kind of got the tail end of that cold. It's like I'm basically completely fine, apart from every so often I will just fucking fill up a tissue. No problem at all.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's just like my body goes into full...
I don't think it's the best way to put it, but...
No, it definitely is. My body goes into full mucus production if I get even a little bit ill. Like, it doesn't know what else is happening. Like, right, we need mucus. What's the problem? It doesn't matter. Get mucus on it. We'll just use mucus. Nice. That's as much as possible is what my body needs for some reason. Anyway, we've had an email from Jenny Tamasebi, who says, I finally caught up to the episode where I started as a Patreon. About time. Congratulations on pronouncing my last name correctly. Yes!
I don't think
God.
I just to forewarn you. Well, to post-warn you? Whatever
post-warn.
warning you in the past is. I doubt I pronounced your name correctly on the...
I mean, you don't pronounce the name of someone we've known for 7 years.
Yeah,
correctly,
exactly. So I'm
fine.
sorry, Jenny, but actually, your name I would normally be able to pronounce. I was trying to do it so fucking quickly 5 minutes before the show started that
Don't get us
no
started about
one
this
had a chance. No one had a chance. I apologise.
She continues, my previous last name was Bull, which is probably more appropriate to the podcast and easier for Amy to sing.
Yes.
She says, I look forward to hearing the next semi-professionally renditioned Patreon jingle and the future forgetful slaughtering of my name. See, she knew in advance.
Yeah, well, at least
knew.
you've set your expectations low, Jenny. So that's
Well, yeah, she said, as long as you don't call me what a work colleague did when I first changed it and call me Jenny Tamagotchi. What has been particularly BS about my running? Pff, how long do you have? Knackered knee, knackered hip, ice, falling over, Raynaud's disease giving me corpse fingers despite silver gloves, having the superpower ability of making each run look like I've never done it before, the lead park racer screaming out the way and shoulder checking a blameless park user, being taken down by a male park racer, and the handheld skip of a buggy. Take your pick. I would go on, but no one needs that. No, Jenny, we literally do need that.
That's amazing.
Because it fills the time.
You need to elaborate on all of those stories.
Otherwise, spread them out for us. Just send in one a week and, it fills the time. Otherwise, despite the whinging, I love the running. Just not while I'm actually doing it. I've really enjoyed listening to the back catalogue on my runs. My true absolute laugh out loud moment was Amy when asked by her GP what she uses for contraception, saying homosexuality. It's a classic.
It's a classic.
Doesn't cost anything.
No, it's just my time and my sanity a lot of the time, Dealing with fucking women. No, joke.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd high five you if I could. You know what they be like.
You know what it's like. You know what it's like, bro. You know what it's like.
Yabbity, yabbity, yab.
Nag. Jesus Christ.
Oh, such a lad. And thanks for the introduction to Bird and Blend. My bank account thinks you're both cunts, but my tummy is very happy.
Oh.
Hope you had a great Christmas. Much love from that London, Jen Tamasebi. And then a picture of her disgusting white fingers.
Yeah. I feel you on the Raynaud's saying, like, Freya has Raynaud's and is, like, being touched by a corpse.
You know what? People with Raynaud's, they fucking love to go on about it, don't they?
They do, yeah. Yeah. And
I mean, never
whenever
mind
I say, like, your hands are freezing, she's like, I've got Raynaud's disease. Like, I'm contravening the 2010 Equalities Act or something. Like, yeah, your hands are fucking cold.
I mean, never mind CrossFit and veganism. You meet someone with Raynaud's and you'll know about it within seconds.
Oh, God, yeah.
Not because they've got gross fingers. They'll just tell you.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
We've had an email from Kay. Oh, fucking hell. We've also had an email from Kel Ryder and says, hello, running is BS. I was so irritated after a race yesterday at the multiple levels of what I felt were bullshit. Seemed perfect to email you guys. I did the 10k race, part of the Portsmouth Coastal Marathon event. I do appreciate that it was one of those let's all dress as Santa for the 10k and 5k, which in fairness was advertised as a family fun run. So I might be bar humbug a bit. But what's people's views on parents participating in races and then dragging their children along on wheeled vehicles? Well, I mean, it's a family fun run. There were several adults on the 5k course who were accompanied by non-running bibbed children on scooters and bikes. That's not cool, though. That's not cool. That's out of order. When the 10k course caught up with the 5k, it was a nightmare, as those of us in the 10k were then essentially mowed down and taken out by wayward children not in control of their wheels. On a couple of occasions, I had to take to the main road and was definitely... On a couple of occasions, I had to take to the road and was definitely tutted at by the parents. Well, I think they tutted, it was hard to tell under their nylon beards. I'm sure one made a remark about my lack of Christmas spirit. Maybe I'm a non-Santa suit wearing miserable sod, but I did put Christmas print leggings on. Fair enough. To top it off, the weather was horrific, and so the whole route wasn't that enjoyable as the wind smacked the sea into your face. It was advertised as a fast and flat course, and despite the input from Mother Nature impeding efforts, it definitely was. But only because it measured over a quarter of a mile short for the 10k. Other people finishing around me had the same complaint, so we knew it wasn't one rogue watch. There was an out and back section on the seaside prom that could have easily been extended, Marshall with a cone for turnaround to get the right distance. The really BS thing is that this has now essentially ruined my Christmas.
Oh, come on.
Oh, mate. As my running mileage for the year would be down and my attempt at a 10k PB thwarted. I've been forced to book another race for Boxing Day.
Forced.
Although Christmas Day seems like the perfect carb loading opportunity. Merry Christmas to you both. I can see multiple issues here.
Like, okay, it is either a family fun run or it's a race.
Yeah, it can't be both.
If they're describing it as fast and flat, and well, frankly, if they're timing it, a family fun run, there's no need to time.
No.
But if it is, and they're saying it's fast and flat, people are going to race it. Letting kids with bikes, I think with a pushchair is bad enough in a race situation, but bikes and scooters is mental.
Yeah, I think Hell Rider, you've been done dirty by this race. They've given you mixed messages. Yeah, you're right. It's either a fast, flat 10k race or it's a family fun run.
I mean, if you've seen Family Fun Run, you've still entered though. That's kind of your fault.
But I get it. Like the mixed messaging, like I get it. But yeah, the Family Fun Run aspect would put me right off because you know what's worse at family fun runs, what's worse than kids on scooters and bikes is that kid who's like 10 years old who is beating everyone, who is super fast, who's probably doing a 16-minute 5k or something.
Yeah, but you know what, at least they're running it and at least they're like good, they've done training, they're good. I don't mind, it's kind of annoying to see a kid smashing you. But it's kind of nice to see as well, like that kid is amazing. But it's the kid on a bike or a kid in a buggy, which has got a bib on and then gets a medal at the end. What the fuck have you done? You've sat in a buggy.
Don't get me started on scooters. I think I've spoken about scooters before. When scooters first started becoming popular, because they were like popular in like whenever it was, the early 2000s. When they first became popular again, and there was a epidemic of scooters on our roads and footpaths, you know what? I would push a child off a scooter and not care. I would do the time in jail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would push a child off a scooter and I'd do that thing and spin it round and hit them in the back of the Achilles with it.
Yeah, the thing is, I think we could fundraise and get you out of that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people would chip in for that.
Yeah. Let me do it just once.
Okay, the next part is the fact a 10k being 400 metres short has ruined your Christmas and ruined your running mileage for the year. What's your running mileage for the year is going to come up 400 metres short, and that's ruined everything.
You like calculated it, so this was
are you that strictly planned? You're so planned. There's no, and that week after that, you can't change anything, and now it's going to be 400 metres short.
Yeah, for that bit, you just need to like chill out, Kel.
But if you've been forced to book another race, that means you're going to be long, so you're fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It hasn't ruined your Christmas. Get over yourself, Kel. Jesus.
Merry Christmas, though.
Merry Christmas. Ian Thompson also sent an email. Amazing opening line to this one. No greeting or anything, just as if having arse gravy since Christmas morning hasn't been bad enough, I had to cook lunch.
Oh.
Don't let the man with arse gravy cook your lunch. Basic
arse
tip.
Gravy.
Basic kitchen tip there.
Oh.
He said, nothing better than having to sort a roast while not wanting to eat it. Then on Boxing Day evening, after family obligations, I went for a run and decided to go along a towpath to cut my run a bit shorter. Except said towpath had collapsed. I didn't clock said collapse. My left leg went down it and I hit the deck. Cue lots of swearing and nausea as I took stock of how shit the day was going. It got better. I then threw up the food from earlier, somehow then feeling up to running home again. Had cut my knee up a bit, but nothing so significant that I couldn't run again last night. 7 grovelling miles in the wind and rain followed, but at least I didn't have any sloppy tums anymore, right? Woke this morning to discover they were back, and the last thing I wanted to do was run 14 miles today as per the marathon training plan. I might just go for a walk instead. I love running, but somehow I really hate running. Fuck. Cheers for the 100th episode. Loves. Another basic tip. Don't go for a run when you've got the shits.
No.
Don't go for a run when you think you might have the shits, because you will have the shits.
Yeah. Yeah. If you already had the shits when you started, you are going to shit yourself on the run.
And I love the fact you're falling over and then like, I've just fallen over, that really hurt.
Imagine the mess, just the slipping
just
over.
Someone running up to help. That guy's fallen over, and you run over there and they just start throwing up as well. Oh shit, I'm leaving him alone.
Shitting themselves. Arse gravy everywhere. Like, oh Jesus.
Oh. Beautiful.
And finally, and most bizarrely, from Amanda Murray Hind. She says, "Hello, thanks for the live. Hope you had a great crimble." Oh, mate, never say crimble again. Crimble. Fucking hell. She said, "I've just seen this abomination. Has Fabletics actually been hacked, as this is truly mortifying, or have I slipped into an eating and drinking stupor and it's really April the 1st? Anywho, keep up the BS. We love it." And she sent these screenshots of... I don't even know how to describe this. It's from Fabletics.
I would say it's activewear lingerie.
Okay, so... So what I'm seeing is some leggings. Just imagine some leggings, some bright pink leggings.
Yeah.
But then imagine that there's a massive hole in the crotch.
Crotchless leggings.
Crotchless leggings, not just crotch. Okay, so firstly, let's get the crotchless thing done.
Yeah.
Crotchless leggings, and there's like pink pants underneath. But I don't know whether they come as part of the leggings or
presumably so.
You buy them separate. I don't know. So there's holes there. Then we work our way round. There's big holes, big circular oval holes in the sides to expose some of the leg. Fair enough. Then you get to the back. It's just one giant hole with the arse sticking out.
Whole arse is out.
Yeah, and some sort of thong type situation going on.
Oh, you know what? I think that might be the same hole. Looking at that front one, so basically there's no gussets. I think that's what's missing there. The whole, so it's crotchless, backless, with side holes, with pink underwear underneath and a pink bra. The screenshot's small. I can't tell if it's actually a sports bra or not. But it's basically, it's activewear lingerie, and the model has got it with high heels on as well. What is this for?
Fetish. It's a fetish, surely. What other situation would you wear this in?
I can't tell.
Like,
I'm gonna have to try and find it on the website and post a link to it. But it's just, I don't understand what situation you would ever use this.
The gym on a Monday evening at 5 p.m, obviously.
In your sexy gym.
Yeah.
And that would be a sexy gym.
Like, it's just
really
insane.
strange. It's really strange.
It's absolutely bizarre. Yeah, I think they've gone a bit mad with this one. They're on
It
a mad one.
It looks a little bit Wish, but a bit too expensive for Wish.
Yeah. How much
It's
is
the kind
it?
of thing like on Wish if it was like really shit quality for like £9, because it just doesn't make any sense.
You know what it
basically.
reminds me of? Like assless chaps, you know? Like a cowboy would wear. Like an
know a few people like
athletic
that.
cowboy. Horrendous.
Horrendous. Speaking of which,
It's the bullshit running news.
Italian distance runner Alessandro Bracconi of Palenza, Italy, will not be eligible to compete until 2058 after receiving a ban of 36 years for the use or attempted use, possession and trafficking and attempted trafficking of a prohibited substance. Like, the weirdest thing about this, he's just, inverted commas there, just a 1 hour, 19 minute half marathon runner. Why is this man being tested?
Yeah.
I assume it must be the trafficking and the possession.
Yeah.
But he's been banned for 36 years, which is so good. The article from Canadian Running Magazine also links to his Strava, as he did a race in Italy despite being banned. I'm like, mate, make your Strava private. You've been banned from all races for most of the rest of your life.
Yeah.
At least make it private. Come on.
I'm convinced he must have been sort of selling it and getting it for other people, or else, like you
Yeah,
said, why would
a
he
lot
be
of it.
tested? Yeah, why would he be tested?
I mean, and come on, you can run a better half marathon than 1:19 as well if you're using all that.
He's not a very good advert for it, is he? I wouldn't want to be buying his peds, you know?
Yeah, one day, 1:19. But I love the photo they use is from his actual Strava, and it's just a photo of him like just flipping off, like a selfie with his finger up, looking like, and doing like a bit of a pout as well. He looks like a prick. Yeah. They also link to a list of all the banned athletes in the world, and that's quite a fun read. I was having a good look through that. Only one British guy on there. Unfortunately, it's the sprinter who lost the relay team the medal, but only one British guy in there, so that's nice.
I'm not on there then.
No, not yet.
I have a coffee in the morning for a run usually.
Yeah, you're banned for different reasons. That's a whole different thing. But basically, he's the guy there's a few people with lifetime bans, but otherwise, basically, he's the guy that is banned for the longest out of anyone in the world. And you can be quite proud of that. So I think if you do get banned from races, at least make your Strava private. That's your top tip for this.
In other news, Olympian Geisa Krause ran a 5K race while 5 months pregnant. She finished 20th with a time of 17 minutes 31 seconds at the Silvesterlauf in Trier, which is a 5-kilometre race held annually on New Year's Eve in Germany's oldest city. And in the article, she speaks about how losing sponsorship was a particular concern for her when she became pregnant, but thankfully her sponsors have been really supportive, which is great because this is an issue that a lot of female athletes face, is worries about if they're to start a family, will they basically lose their careers, which isn't, isn't ideal and not something men have to worry about, but there we go. She hopes that this will encourage other runners to continue with the sport during pregnancy, saying, "I am pregnant, not sick. I have a passion for running and I believe that there is a way to combine both running and pregnancy together," which is a fantastic message. But what made me laugh is this article has been all over social media, like all over everyone's social media. So Freya was the one that saw it first, and she said, "Oh, somebody who's pregnant has just run a 17-minute 5K." And I thought, because she has when you have non-runners as like Facebook friends or whatever, and their watch fucks up, and they're like, "Yep, just run a 16-minute 5K." That's not true. And I was straight away like, "That's bullshit. Who is it?" Because I thought it was one of her friends on Facebook. I was like, "That's bullshit," because obviously non-runners as well, they don't know how. Freya doesn't know that that's super fast because she was, I was like, "That's bullshit. Not true," like that. And then she sent me the news article. I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you meant one of your friends on Instagram had said, 'Oh, just run a 17-minute 5K.'" So yeah, pretty impressive though.
Oh, actually, speaking of GPS fuck-ups and people doing things they shouldn't, on that guy's Strava that I mentioned, the Italian guy, it links to his Strava, and I had a quick look at his thing, and it says his marathon PB is 2:03. So I'm like, well, come on. He's been on the peds for that one. Yeah. I had to click on it. He was in a car. He went for a run, drove somewhere, flagged it. Don't worry, everyone. I flagged him.
God, you just delete them, don't you, if you do a car? And you're like, "Oh, shit." And then the thing is, you're obviously either, which I doubt.
You can crop it. Just crop the car bit off.
Or, if you're like me, you're shit at Strava, just delete it and put it in as a manual entry.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
But don't worry, everyone. I flagged him, so I'll show him.
Yeah, that was...
But yes, this article was sent to us by a few people, and 17:31 is a hell of a good time. And 5 months broke. But good for her. Like she said, she's just pregnant. She's not sick. She's not injured. It's just something else that she has to deal with. And obviously for her, it works completely fine.
And there's so much backlash, isn't there, about women exercising when pregnant?
I haven't looked at it because I've just I haven't. It was one of those things. I'm not looking at comments because what's the point?
It's not the comments from this. I haven't looked at the comments from this. I don't look at comments anymore. But it's just more generally, especially I find, especially women running, but especially women who go to the gym while pregnant and weightlift. It's like, that is so dangerous. You're going to damage the baby. It's like, what do you think is happening? Weightlifting at the gym. You're not using your stomach to rest the barbell on, and this whole idea, exactly.
She ain't doing crunches.
Yeah, you might become unwell if you're pregnant, but being pregnant doesn't mean you're unwell, Yeah. Yeah, great story. And finally, we all loved Uncle Chen, the chain-smoking Chinese marathon runner, but it seems the Chinese athletics authorities got a bit embarrassed about this, and they've proposed a new rule banning smoking in races. Boo! I was just thinking when I read that, is smoking banned in races in general in the UK? I never thought that this would need to be said. But is there something in the rules that say you don't smoke while you're in the race,
I'm not. I've never seen that rule, but again, it's probably not a rule that anyone ever thought they'd have to implement.
Yeah,
but I think
there's always a reason behind these rules, isn't there?
But because Uncle Chen went so viral, I think Chinese athletics have gone, "Oh shit, this makes us look really bad."
Yeah.
So they've proposed this new rule to get rid of it, just to make sure they don't look bad in future. Because there's nothing else China does that's bad, so they should be fine.
Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly on. What have you got coming up next?
Inevitably, more Canicross back at Pembrey again, because every race is in Pembrey. And I looked up. There's a different British Championship with a different federation of Canicross running. And where are the races for that? I looked up. It's the week after the one I'm doing at Pembrey.
Oh.
Everyone fucking loves Pembrey. All the Canicrossers go there. So I'm not doing that one, which is a shame. But I will be doing the one next week. So another race weekend, another second place out of 2 people. That's the aim. That's what I'm up for. How about you? Are you going to do the Canicross?
I'd like to. I mean, I'm learning
Can you sign up for this one?
I'm learning how to drive at the moment, so that's the only thing with these races is that they're incredibly difficult to get to on public transport. I've looked at it and it's like a fucking nightmare. So once I can drive, I'll be on it like a car bonnet. I will be there.
Will you?
But I haven't signed up for anything yet.
Okay.
So I'm just ultra training and trying to stay consistent with it, trying to keep going to the gym as well, because I know I'm going to get injured. If I don't do the gym, I will get injured. So, which is really difficult and sucks and makes me ache and feel really unfit, but it needs to be done. So.
You need to come up with some interesting, exciting long runs and let us know what you're planning.
I know, definitely.
Because you need to do a lot of long runs. So yeah.
But the thing is, the longer the run, the more likely content is gonna emerge, such as me falling over, me getting in an altercation with someone, you know, something strange happening, somebody flashing me. These are not random things I'm coming up. These are things that have happened. So you know, there's always more opportunity for those things to happen on longer runs. The longer the runs, the more content is generated. So that's got to motivate me.
Get planning.
Yeah. If you've enjoyed this bullshit, please visit runningisbs.com to see the show notes and links from this episode and the whole back catalogue, as well as links to our Patreon, merch store and social medias.
Happy New Year, something.
Yeah. Fireworks.
Oh, I see.
Bye.
Yabbity yabbity yap.